Hello again, everyone. Today we are going to create these two very easy and quick cards for St. Patrick's. And I thought maybe I would share a bit of my story with you guys. Years ago, about 12, 13 years ago, I came to Ireland for the first time because of a Paulo Coelho book. I don't know if you guys know Paulo Coelho, the guy who wrote The Alchemist. He also wrote a book called Breda that was set in Ireland. And I read that book many years ago. I fell in love with it and I ended up traveling to Ireland. I spent 2 days, 3 days here, and I cried the day I had to leave. I just fell in love with the place. Um, I can't explain why. Just a minute here. So I'm just ink blending my two main panels that I'm gonna use in my background. I started with green cardstock, adding a like medium green. I'll add a darker green to the edges and then black on the very border, and I'll bring back those colors and I'll ink blend everything again. Okay, so going back to Ireland. So I spent the next, I believe, 5 years working and saving some money to be able to come back here because I wanted to come and spend more time. And before I came over, I met someone online on a dating website. Oh my goodness. And we started dating before I even came over. And when I got here, we met and uh, we eventually, like, we were dating already, right? But we really worked together and eventually we got married. And I've been here since then. I don't know how much detail you want to hear about this, but yes, I've been living in Ireland for 7 years, and I love it here. It's a gorgeous country, and people are so nice and have a great sense of humor. And my husband's family is lovely, and he's absolutely lovely. So I really love it here. I don't really celebrate St. Patrick's where I'm from, but here it's something that makes me think of the country that I've been living, that welcomed me and that gave me so much. And I don't know, I think it's a silly way for me to celebrate it a little bit. But that's it. That's all I had. I don't think you guys want to know more than that. But yes, so I think that green and gold are two colors that go well together anytime, but also for St. Patrick's, I think they work very well. So I started the two panels with the same colors, the same ink blending. The panels are not perfect, but they will work for what we need. Um, Starting with the green card makes it way easier because you don't have to ink blend the whole thing, just the borders. Now I'm just trying it with a heat gun. You can see that when I turn it around, it curls up pretty bad. But it actually flattened way better once it cooled down. And I do turn it around a few times to make sure that I have it as dry as it can be. I'm not going to do any embossing. I just didn't want it wet. And then I'm going to use these watercolors, the metallic ones, to add some splatters. I chose the second one from the right. There is kind of a champagne color and one of the gold. And I'm going to use a very small brush to do the spatters with the champagne one because I wanted that one very light and very small, but I'm gonna use like a more medium brush, slightly bigger than the other one to get bigger gold spatters because I wanted that one a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to use black acrylic paint to add a few black splatters as well. What I really, really wanted when I started making and planning these cards was to add some detail to the ink blended background. And I went through my whole sash looking for at least one image of shamrock, and I couldn't find any. And I also couldn't find like any sentiments that I thought would be like related to St. Patrick. So I thought, no, it's okay. I can just add some splatter that will add a bit of interest and it will be okay. And in the end, I really like it. But if you have in your stash a stamp or also a stencil with a shamrock image, you could use that over and over and over all across your panel at this stage to add the image even as a watermark, and it will be lovely. Guys, so here you can see the detail when you turn it around against the light. You can see the shine of those tiny dots, and it looks very pretty, guys. In person, it looks very pretty. So what I did for both cards was I just chose two alphabet dice. I can't speak English anymore. What's going on? And both of them, I chose the same sentiment. So I'm gonna write good luck. This one, I'm going to die cut the letters into the panel. I use the letter C just to measure because I need to die cut the O twice, just to measure and save the space for it. And then I try to evenly space all the letters. I have my T ruler to make sure that everything is in a straight line. I'm gonna run it once through the die cutting machine. I'm just gonna add some low tack tape to make sure that those letters are not gonna move. And then I'll run it a second time to die cut my second O. Off screen, I ran the same letters on a gold mirrored cardstock. I didn't show that. I'm not going to show that here for you guys to see, but I did that. And these letters, this alphabet die set is an older one from Pink Fresh Studio, and it die cuts the letters in a very thin border, a very thin frame around those letters. And you can probably see them here on my plate. So I'm not going to use the letters that I just did die cut in green. I'm not going to use the ones that I die cut in gold, but I'm going to use just that very thin frame in gold. So here I'm just adding some adhesive to the back of my panel so I can add the acetate. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but once I remove the backing, I can put the acetate down. If you want to do this, you might want to add a little bit of white glue, very strong liquid adhesive, to the details of those letters, like the curve of the L or the curve of the K and the D and the C. But I didn't think it was necessary. And because I'm going to add the frame will kind of hold those details together later. But you could if you want to. The other thing that you could do is if you use the gold die cut like I am doing, you could die cut it with the adhesive already on the back, and then you wouldn't have to add the glue now. That would make it way easier. As always, I have adhesive to stay in my drawer because I never remember to use it when I should. So I'm adding just the glue and then pressing it down very well, making sure that it's going in the space that I want it to go. I did the same for all the letters. Now I am bringing the gold O just so I can place the center detail in the right spot. It was a bit tricky, but it worked. But you don't really need to do that. I'll show you the second one here. I have this ugly very dirty rag that I use for cleaning, for wiping, beside me so I can remove the excess glue. I just tap it lightly and I remove the glue. And then you can press it down. This one I just eyeballed because I thought the O was kind of, the letter itself was in the middle of my eyesight. So I did the same for the letter D. And now I'm just gonna double the backing of my foam adhesive so I can cut it down. You've seen me doing this a few more times before if you watched my video on the videos that I've made with other shaker cards. It's the same thing that I always do. So I'm cutting it down. I'm gonna put it all around the frame. Um, Tiny slivers in between the letters and also in between the two words because I don't want my shaker bits to go all of them all the way to the bottom. So that will make sure that they don't move too much and they will stay contained. I added more of those shamrock confettis. These ones I bought in my Euro store. I think for other people it will be the dollar store. Usually we can find them easily here around St. Patrick, and I think they're very cute. These are big for my taste, but they are all I have, so I made sure to use them. I'm just gonna start removing the backing, and then I'll remember that I actually wanted to add some glitter, and I'll be very careful. I'll bring my glitter and I'm gonna add it to the letters, to the spaces of the letters. And I'll be careful because some of that adhesive is already exposed and I don't want the glitter to add to it and then prevent me from putting that green panel on top to work as the back of the whole thing. So now I'm just going to remove the rest of the backing and then I'm going to bring the green panel and put it down, press it down very well. I'm going to bring my bone folder and make sure that it's just not going to move because quite often I get so excited with shaker cards that I start shaking them before I actually press it down and make sure that the adhesive is firmly against the other panel. So now I'm just trimming a sliver that was, I thought it was a bit bigger, and I'm gonna add some glue to the back of this one and add my card base behind it. As usual, I can't stop playing with the shaker cards. I think I'm actually like 8 years old. I can't. People, I don't know what's wrong with me. You tell me, you let me know. But yes, I'm just gonna add some glue and add my panel to my card base, and I'm calling this card done. Then we're gonna move to the second one. The second one is the easiest one. We already have the panel ready, ink blended, and I'm not gonna do any die cutting onto the panel this time. I did the die cutting off screen. The alphabet I use for this one, the alphabet die set, is from the Grey, and I die cut it 4 times, 3 times out of white cardstock and once from the gold mirrored cardstock. And I glued them all together off screen. I did that all off screen so the video was not too long. So I'm just gluing my panel here to my card base. I forgot, I really wanted to trim this this panel down, the background, and glue it to a gold card base so I will have the thin gold frame around it, but I completely forgot about it. But in the end, it turned out okay. If you want to give it a try, it will look very nice, I guarantee, because it will tie in with the letters, so it will look very nice. Both of them, you could do that. It will actually look really good. So I placed my letters and calculated the spacing. I used my T ruler once again to make sure that those letters are straight. And now I'm just gluing them down, and I will keep on bringing my tea ruler to make sure that they are in place, putting my acrylic blocks on top to hold them down until the glue dries. This glue, it's the clear glue, and it takes a little bit longer than the white one to dry, but it works very well when it's cardstock on cardstock. It doesn't work very great when it's cardstock on a sleek surface. Then I would use the white one. But I can tell you more about glue on a separate video if you're interested. So for this one, I'm just adding these gold letters, and then I'm gonna add one of those shamrock confettis right in the center, and that's it, because I forgot to trim them down and add the gold border, but I like it. I still like it the way it is. So this is my shamrock, and this is it. I have a few more ideas coming up soon. Please make sure to subscribe if you want to check them out. Have a lovely week and happy crafting. Thank you. Bye.